Hey, it's Friday, Bill, where we're doing the Jagdpanther with Tim and not Gary. We're doing it with his seat, apparently, with his chair.
Yeah. Chair reacts.
How are you, Gary's chair? The silence is deafening. How are you, Tim?
I'm well.
Your haircut is looking sleek today.
I don't know what to say to that. I'm married. Stop cracking on me.
How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good. Yeah, had a very lazy day today.
Yeah,
Like drastically overslept until just past lunch, so I feel terrible.
I know that feeling.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I woke up at 11 o'clock and went, no, I didn't hear any of my alarms. Like, jump up and have breakfast quickly.
yeah. What about you? How are you doing?
I'm all right, buddy. Yeah, I was absolutely shattered yesterday. So I went to bed at about 9 o'clock, went to sleep. And then my daughter rang me at 10 o'clock. So I was on the phone to her till 12 o'clock. And then I couldn't get to sleep till gone 3:30.
Good form.
Yeah. Not that it's her
Uh,
fault because I love speaking to her. But yeah, I should have gone to sleep straight after. But I was just
Good
too.
save.
I was
Yeah,
bounced. I was too giddy.
yeah. Nah, it's good. At least you had a good reason. It's
Yeah.
not just like, oh yeah, I had a sleep paralysis demon calling me slurs or something, you know.
And I paid for the hotel last night for Telford. And my wife ordered me a new spray booth for Christmas, which is supposed to be coming on Monday, but it's apparently coming this afternoon.
With that, it's all coming up, Mikey.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm not sure how we're going to interview Gary's chair, but it's going to be a bit of a one-sided conversation, I think.
Eh,
Yeah,
he'll
nah.
be back in a minute.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm sure he will. Okay. And he's the professional.
so as all you guys would know if you've been following week to week, my YAG is pretty much done. So I'm going ahead and just uh, toddling on with this little weird SAC AS6, which is
It's looking cool.
the flying beer tray.
It was the flying beer tray.
That's all right. I'm being careful. So yeah, which is cool because yeah, bloke that built it out in a shed, and that's why it has like the BF 109 cockpit. But yeah, so I'm using this also as a test piece for the Edward decals, which I haven't used before. Which Mikey was just telling me has a like a carrier film. Yeah, which is something new for me. So we'll see how that all, you know.
Yeah, John doesn't take his off, I don't think. I think he leaves his on when he doesn't.
Yeah, my old man does that with, you know, like when you buy like a new microwave and it has the protective film over the screens. I think he does it just to spite me because he knows how much I hate it. But he hides behind the justification. It's a protective film. It's there to protect. Why would I remove it? And it's the logic is fine, but you know, he deserves to be struck down by God. So
And hello to Tim's dad if you're watching.
if he was, he'd just be making smarmy comments. Like ever since I was a kid with like, you know, playing Warhammer and stuff, like he just goes, oh yeah, go hang out with your mates, play Battle Cat, 666, just do stuff like that and bully me. I'm like, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Gary's chair is now filled.
It is.
Hello, Gary.
Hello, the boys. How are we? How are you, Timmy?
I'm very well.
Good.
It's just unloading a bit of generational trauma about how Dad used to bully me. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you've missed the tears. I've recovered. We're good.
Okay,
We're here.
Okay. So why do you think you feel that way then, Tommy? Tell me. Just recline your chair a bit. Isn't that what they do? Yeah.
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 Need my comfort pillow or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to, Waitrose?
I've been busy. I've finished my Sam 2 set,
Nice.
which was lovely. I'll get hold of that for you.
We're tactical as well. I like it.
So I did it a wee diorama base. And I'll put the missile on there. It goes that way around. Yeah. Haven't glued down the actual elements of it, but there we go.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. Really cool.
So what I was thinking of doing, because I've got the Airfix Bloodhound set, I'll take those off for the moment.
I've got that one.
Is do the same base, but like a mirror of it. So the road coming round this way and that.
Yeah.
And then, but do that in like European grass and have a Bloodhound missile on this one with its trailer. And then the Samtorn, because they're sort of contemporaries, roughly contemporaries, 1960s, big surface-to-air missiles. I think just make a nice sort of diptych, as they call it in the art world, I believe.
Yes.
I said diptych, by the way, before anyone.
Yeah.
It's all right, John's. It's all right. John's not here. He's not. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he's all right. I'm sure he is.
See, I've actually heard that word before.
Yeah.
You're impressed because you've heard a word before.
Yeah, well, once a very long time ago. Although it was more like in passing because we were focusing on. Although we said itch, so we call it like a triptych.
Yeah,
The
triptych is 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back in
I remember it from
10
our A level where we did like Renaissance. Was the history of our block was Renaissance Italy, and there's a lot of these 2 and 3 panel images created in those days.
I remember it from doing photography
and stuff.
Yeah.
So done that. I've been building my Avro Anson, 1/72 scale Anson.
Nice.
That's ready for priming and all of that. And Jet Provost, which is going to be camouflaged.
Nice.
That getting needs priming. I've done the teeny tiny armored car, the Monty's Caravan. It's just so damn small. I look at it.
That's adorable. That's awesome.
Isn't it lovely? That's a Daimler Mark II reconnaissance vehicle.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Daimler Mark II scout car. Obviously there's Neil's wheels and stuff. So once that's done and painted, then I can start putting that little diorama together. So now the Matchbox build put to bed, and I can start on the next Matchbox on because he's just sent me another Matchbox kit. So that's good. And I've finished my my Sam 2 thinking, hey, that's really cool because they're like really rare kits.
Yeah.
And they go for stupid money on eBay. Get a box from Crazy Loacher today. FedEx arrived with 5 of them.
So when you saw them online and told him there was some available, he bought all of them.
Well, I said to him, "Will you buy me 3 of them, and I'll pay you for them?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Why are these rare or something?" I said, "Well, over here, they're stupid money over here now."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I'll get some for the Models Heroes auction in March."
Yeah.
The 48. And so I think he's bought 3, sent one to M4H there, and just sent me the other 5. So I'll be sending one to James for our auction here. I'll probably raffle one. I don't know what I'll do with the rest yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, 5 of them. So I didn't know there probably weren't 5 in the UK before he sent them because they're very, very rare. So, and they're all in the original wrappers as well. It's literally just come out of a shop's stock as they were delivered by Airfix like 40 years ago or something.
Keep one in a really lockbox somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really cool. That was a good day. Yeah. Did you see the thing from ICM the other day? You know, they had a missile strike right next door to their factory, took the end of the wall of their factory off.
Yeah.
But there's a thing on yesterday where a lot of the damage was done actually to their packaging, not to their actual kit manufacturing or the kit store. It's the boxes. Yeah. So they've put little stickers on the boxes now saying damage caused by shrapnel of Russian missile or something like that on the ones that are damaged. I thought, that's cool. Own it. Don't reprint them. Awesome. Actually own it and send them out.
Do you know what I was thinking would be really cool is if they find any shrapnel, put them in the boxes.
Yeah.
Baggy with a label on it.
Absolutely. And then auction them.
Yeah.
Raise even more money to keep the company going, which would be brilliant. And they've confirmed that their Hamden's coming out next month, which is superb. The 148th Hamden.
Yeah.
We're here next month. So that's really cool. So it's been a busy old time, really.
One thing that did make me think about as well is you look at how much damage that one missile did. And when we were in Iraq, we were living in tents and they fired them at us every day. It's amazing.
Yeah, but that was probably one of their Kinjals or something like that, a ballistic missile, which comes in at about 3-4 times the speed of sound.
Yeah.
So the kinetic energy it's carrying is just insane.
Yeah. Well, I remember being stood in a Sangha one day, and one of the massive Chinese rockets things came over, and I was talking to an officer, and I just saw it go across the sky behind him. And I was like, incoming? And then into the Sangha. And he went,
I spy with my little eye.
Yeah. Well, he stood there and he went, well, what are you diving into the Sangha for? And I went, incoming. And he went, no, there isn't. There's no alarms. Next minute, and I just lay there and went, told you.
That's why I was always happy ships had CWIS, the close-in weapon system. It just.
Well, we had the same thing. We had the Phalanx, didn't we, on the camp? They adapted it for land. So at night, that was awesome because it was like watching a laser show.
Yeah. It's crazy when you watch it in slow motion. It's like, you see that missile coming at us? Yep. I don't want to.
At sea, they're great because all the shrapnel and everything and all the explosive charge stuff just falls into the water because it destroys the rocket motors and stuff. But on land, all that stuff has to land somewhere. And unfortunately, one night when we were on guard duty in the Sangha, it landed on our Sangha.
Nice.
So it just sounded like rain hitting the Sangha boat, wasn't it? It was a shrapnel and everything. It was like, that was close. Yeah. Anyway, should we carry on with the chat?
Yeah, let's get after it.
Bob says, am I the only one watching? It's lonely here. I do hope not.
And it says, chat name appears as username again.
Yes, YouTuber.
So says, hello folks, happy Friday. Hope you'll have a wonderful weekend. Please don't forget to hit that button on your way in. Thank you.
Whoop, whoop. David says, hello, Bob, here at the Mo, but we'll be popping Mrs. to Ustrad shortly, but we'll be back. Hi, Tiff.
I am not even going to attempt to read that because I will butcher that language.
Moin alle, wir sind Kameraden auf See.
There we go. A song from the modern German Navy. I saw a 1960s video showing the former USS Anthony Z1 D170 in the Bundesmarine.
Oh, how about that? Getting excited about my next build, says JT. Excellent. Good to hear it.
Stu says, salutations to all. Hello, Stu.
Salutations. We do like that.
Columbus is in. He says, evening all. Finally catching a stream for the first time in a month. Good to have you, mate.
Callum. Enjoyed your vlog, by the
way.
I
like this name, Seafire47. Love it. G'day, all.
That's Patrick, isn't it?
Yep.
That's my dad's model of Seafire.
June says, morning all. I see YouTube has done its trick of displaying account names, not labels. Oh, joy. Yeah. Not sure why it does that.
Spite.
Yeah.
Because it can.
Joe's in, he says, hey all, good morn / afternoon and evening. Happy Friday. Bob, they're out to get all of us.
Hello, Bob. Joe.
Aussie Ian says, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday.
Hey, Aussie Ian. Joe says, lube and subscribe, like if you like to.
Duke's in, he says, g'day all you beautiful people.
Hey, Duke. Julian says, Pringles. Oh, sorry. Shearing Nick, Gary.
Well, that's all right.
I fell in for John.
Angle, Mikey, evening, Tim, afternoon, AWOL, Commander Evans. Late on parade, not AWOL.
Julian says, Mikey, professional just means you get paid to stuff things up. Amateurs do it for free.
Absolutely.
Here for the income, not the outcome. JT says, Timah!
Oh, I like that. That's good. Yeah. Bob says, protective film has been on my nuke for over a decade. Slightly tatty over the start button now.
Yeah.
Julian says, watched your unboxing of the vintage FW189 Commander Evans. Agreed, figures used to be better.
The figures in it were beautiful, really nicely modelled in 1/72. Really good.
Duke says, was the ICM building damage done by Zvezda? I have no clue. Does anyone know?
Russian manufacturer of plastic kits.
Oh.
Graham says, afternoon all. How is everyone? Very good, thank you.
Graham.
Very well.
And Jim says, greetings to all in chat. There we go. Yeah.
Lovely. Hi, Jim.
Zvezda is the one that John had a moral dilemma and nearly had a meltdown over because he wasn't sure whether he should build a Russian-made model.
Oh, yeah. That's, yeah. To each their own.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Right. Down to the tables, desks, benches, whatever you like to call them.
Oh, boy, that'll be loud. Sorry.
So you should be. I put mud down.
Boy.
And I've made a roof.
Oh, that's cool.
There you go.
Are they like individual shingles or are they?
Yeah, they're the plastic tiles that I got.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Look all right, don't I? So, I'm not too worried about doing the top because I'm going to have snow on that anyway. And then I've made a counter for in the shop.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Made a wooden counter to go in the shop. That light is awfully bright. There we go. Just need sanding down a bit. And I finished painting the walls. So they're not so brightly coloured.
So I was telling Mikey just before stream, when I was going back over my materials for the AS6, I had, the decals, the special hobby decal sheet, and I wasn't going to use them because I thought they were old and stuff. And then I realized when I picked them up, I had a lot of dust on my fingers. I went, oh, maybe I should take it out of the bag. And they're minty fresh. So,
wow, they are, aren't they?
Yeah. They're there's no yellowing on the white at all. So yeah. But this is a good chance. So this is the decals from the 110 because I'll be using my third party ones for that. So it also gets to serve as a tester for the carrier film and blah 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 that I haven't used before. But yeah, I'm very happy that I will get to use the AS6 V1 decals.
Excellent.
That will go on the tail fin upright. So yeah.
do like a flying weird thing. Very fond of them.
Graham says,
pretty cool.
Countdown started for Telford. Anyone taking interesting models?
Well, I'm taking my bright red Mayasashov hobnob thing. That's all I'm taking with me this year.
I'm not taking anything, I don't think. Yeah. If you pop over to the Friends Models for Heroes stand, you'll see a lot of hobnob themed models.
You will indeed.
JT says, Mikey, you could do a lighting to show a flickering fire. I could, but I have neither the time nor the electronics to do it. I can do a static light, but I can't do a flickering light. Patrick says, looking good, Mikey. Thank you, buddy. Julie says, keeping it to modelling, I think the provenance source of a kit is just another aspect, like colour, scale, etc. And up to the individual, nobody else. Yes, agreed. I told John to stop bringing politics into it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the kit. He bought it because he knew he'd enjoy it, so just enjoy it. Jim, shingles. No, not me. I got the shot at my doctor's office. JT says, bring your fly swatters to ward off people who fail to obey the do not touch rule. It's all right. We have a John Mayfield for that.
Yeah.
When he's not tormenting Mr. Morris. He gave him an ear infection last year, didn't he?
What, by talking to him so much?
No, he did a wet willy in his ear. Shoved his finger in his ear and gave him an ear infection.
Oh dear. That's what he told the doctor.
Yeah. That was after me and John Mayfield had spent about 10 minutes poking Gary's belly from side to side, going poke, 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 poke.
Do you know, technically that's probably workplace bullying.
It is, but Gary was laughing.
What, doing like the Pillsbury Doughboy or something?
Yeah.
You probably don't remember.
Julian says, when Graham said interesting models, why did my mind go to Linda Lasardi? I don't know. Patrick says, it's the same with instrument decals. Some look amazing, others look like they were drawn by a 5-year-old with a crayon.
Yeah.
Callum says, glad you liked the vlog, Mikey. I'll be doing another for Scale ACT in Canberra in a couple of weeks. Nice. One thing I will say, though, Callum, is you really need to get a gimbal because the camera moves a lot. Or a tripod, at least when you're doing the face-to-camera stuff. It makes things a lot easier for you. Not that that's criticism. JT says, would a model of a tunnel machine be a boring model? Ha ha ha. Didn't they do a model of the machines used to do the Eurotunnel?
Probably. Probably, yeah.
It'd be a pretty cool model.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty awesome pieces of kit, really.
Yeah.
Well, they're huge, aren't they? They're really long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just like a cutting disc. There's tons of stuff there.
Yeah, yeah. You've got the grinders and extractors and the water jets and all that, and then you've got like the power plant and like propulsion aspect to it as well.
And you've got the bits that place all of the concrete preform on the inside and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd make an awesome diorama as well. Especially the bit where they meet up in the middle and they're shaking hands through the last bit of mud.
What? So it's a diorama of a bit of the middle of the English Channel?
Yeah.
With that 130 meters below this point?
Yeah. JT says, Julian, I love Jordan Carver. Okay. Kevin says, good day, everyone. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, Kev.
Joe, part 1. Searching through my old firearms qualifications bag for earplugs. Heading north to Starkville, MS, for college football game, Miss State versus Texas. Oh, yeah. Apparently, Mississippi State fans, all 60,000, ring cowbells. I'm sure you hooligans and heathens are used to it, but not me. No, we don't do cowbells in the UK. We just do really awful chants at the referee and the goalkeepers and things.
Hopefully
David said,
Texas gets up in that one.
David says, hi all, back now. Hello. Phil says, hi all, guten Abend. Hello.
Oh, guten Abend.
Julia says, be back in a bit. Kara here and lunchtime. Hello. Kara. Seafire says, hi, Kevin, David, and Phil. Jim says, Joe, hook 'em horns.
Yes,
Sounds
sir.
painful. JT says,
that's what Texas says.
JT says, Christopher Walken going to be there? More cowbell? Yeah, we do really weird and wonderful and funny chants, which the FA are slowly starting to ban, or trying to stop anyway. I think it makes it all more fun, especially if you go to Sunday League football and things.
At the risk of dragging the tone up slightly, there's a piece by Richard Strauss called The Alpine Symphony. It's a sort of symphonic description of a chap climbing an Alp. And he starts off by walking across meadows, and there's a waterfall. As he's walking through the meadows, selected members of the orchestra have cowbells, and they pick them up to ring them to symbolise the cowbells in the pasture. It's really lovely.
Yeah. I like stuff like that.
Well, that's the cultural bit over for today. I'll revert to type now.
Yeah. I was listening to some noir jazz last night. I like it. Dark jazz.
All right.
Lovely. Joe says, yes, I could use more cowbell. JT says, Phil, good Abend. Americans put a lot of emphasis on where their ancestors came from, don't they?
In what way?
Well, they make it part of their identity. So it's not, even though your family haven't lived in that country for like 200-300 years, you're still an Irish American, or you're still an African American, or Italian American, things like that.
Or German American, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas with Europeans, we just go, yeah, we're British. We're born in Britain.
Apart from the idiot thugs who are my favourites in the world for saying, oh, I'm a true Anglo-Saxon, me. And say, right, so you come from North Germany then? What do you mean? Well, the Angles and the Saxon are North Germanic tribes just south of Denmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does not compute.
Yeah, it was the Britons were the only
the Celts,
natural ones. Yeah, and
absolutely
Celts and stuff in
represent
Wales. And
if your hair's not red, frankly, you're a foreigner.
And the Cornish.
Yeah. Well, apparently, the reason why so many Welsh people have like olive-coloured skin and dark hair is because the Romans.
The Romans.
The Romans were the only people to sort of semi-successfully invade Wales.
They invaded it with love, obviously.
Hell yeah. Callum says the New Zealand NRL team, the Warriors, have a chance for when we win the game. A home game win, and the whole stadium shakes when doing the chant. Nice.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to say they have a chance for when they win. No one's heard it in 13 years.
Hey, careful. It's not Everton. Jim says there's a Pink
I take
Floyd...
it that's the association football side, is it?
I don't know, mate. Although I have been to Goodison Park and to Everton's training grounds with work, but it's because I work for a delivery firm, a bit of delivery firm, and one of the things we had to deliver was crates of water to Goodison and to their training ground.
All right.
So,
cool.
And apparently footballers are far too important to actually lift crates of water, so we had to take them right into the changing rooms for them.
Poor little darlings.
Yeah, whilst they were all sat in their jacuzzi and things like that. Bizarre.
Oh.
Yeah. So apparently they're far too precious to do this.
Well, they do get broken legs just by an opponent being somewhere within about 3 meters of them.
Yeah.
The amount they roll around on the floor.
Yeah.
That's the worst part about soccer.
Yeah.
I think it does the game such a disservice.
Absolutely. Yeah. I thought they were trying to ban diving and all that and penalise it, which I think they should, because it's cheating. But when you hear this side won a penalty. No, you don't win a penalty. You have a penalty awarded because someone's done something wrong. You don't win a penalty. That's the wrong attitude. That's
the only way it changes, I think, is you have to have a broad cultural shift where not only is it against the rules, but we will actively shame you and never let you live it down for being a sook.
Well, that's sort of where the chants come in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or yellow card offence. You do that, yellow card. You're booked. Do it again, you're off.
One thing that did surprise me, though, when I went to... Because I did the medical cover for the Under-21s World Cup games a few years ago. I did England, Germany, and England, Wales. And how fast they move, it's ridiculous. Because one of the guys got tackled, and he went over onto his face about 10, 15 feet away from us. No, must have been further than that. But he was going that fast that he slid from the pitch line down the grass bank about 20 foot along the grass and slammed into the barrier in front of us. So all you can see on the camera on the TV was us jumping up and looking down to make sure he was all right. And he just it was just really bizarre because he literally just slid like he was on ice because he was going that fast. Jim says there's a Pink Floyd song titled Fearless that records football crowds singing a song. There's some good YouTube videos of them. He also says, BBC, we are a nation of immigrants. Yes. But surely if you're born in the US, then you're an American, first and foremost. JT says, do you call an attractive angle girl a cute angle? JT says, Jim, we are...
You call her Ethelfled.
JT says, Jim, we are mutts. Do you know what that means? Our ancestors got kicked out of every decent country in the world. Stripes. Yeah. Jim says, the NHL and the NBA have a penalty call for diving, embellishing. Yeah.
Nice.
Unless you're LeBron James.
Oh, shots fired.
There are always exceptions to every rule.
And he says, JT, everyone except Native Americans. JT's not that we're accusing Native Americans of diving. They're on about whether they're immigrants or not. JT says, Jim, and now arrests for illegal sports gambling. Yeah, see, in the UK, we're allowed to gamble on sports.
Yeah, unless you're a sports person, of course.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Or politician. JT says, yep. Joe says, that's probably why I don't watch foosball, soccer, or the NBA.
Yeah.
I think
even American football's getting soft now.
Yeah. To be fair, they wear padding. How much softer do you want?
No, I've played that game. That padding gets used as a weapon.
Yeah.
So when I was playing quarterback, I had to go out and buy it's called a flak jacket.
Yeah.
That is an extra piece of padding that fits around your ribs, which is why sometimes quarterbacks look so kind of big and puffy.
Yeah.
Because I got jacked up on my blind side while I had my arms up, so the left side, being right-handed, the left side of my ribs was fully exposed, and had a perfect impression of a faceplate, which are made of steel, in my ribs for about 3 weeks. So,
see, that doesn't happen in rugby.
No, I've got all the respect in the world for rugby.
We just break people's limbs.
For me, it's not one or the. It's not a case of one or the other, but no, there's been a couple of rule changes over the last couple of years, so they're trying to make it safer because of head injuries and stuff like that. But the best part of the game is the big hits, and they're like, "No, you're leading with the head," or you're targeting. And it's like, I mean, I don't like those rules. I like real hard-nosed, knock them out football.
Well, they had to bring in a rule in rugby, didn't they, that you weren't allowed to tackle above the shoulders because that's how they were taking most people out, and breaking their necks and all sorts.
So in football, that's called a horse collar tackle. So can't do that. But
it used to be allowed in rugby, and then when they were playing the Rugby World Cup one year, one of the players got his neck snapped.
Yeah. So, what is funny?
That's a good reason to stop it, then, isn't it? Really, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Despite horse collaring being illegal, it's totally legal in the NFL to if they've got the big stupid bundle of braids out the back of their helmet, you can grab that and give that a good yank. That's fine. You can rip them down by the hair all day.
Good old Americans. Where did we get up to, Modders? Jim says the FBI have to do with illegal gambling rings. Ooh. See, that's not really a thing over here. JT says, I can't watch sports. My ADHD goes nuts. I can't wait for the game to be over, especially if you're cold in the stands. Yeah. TBG says, hi, everyone. Hello.
Hi, TBG.
JT says, watching a game in the cold is like winter camping. You think, why am I doing this? I think that's more of a problem in America because the crowds are a lot more sedate than they are in the UK.
Well, also because they tend to play whatever the weather.
Yeah.
In NFL, I've seen it like sort of 2 feet of snow on the outfield, and they've gone out and played a game.
Yeah. There's awesome video of stuff like that. Like every season, really. But like you go back, pretty much any game in Buffalo around the end of the year is always a snow game. Too. Chicago, Green Bay, there. Minnesota plays in
it's so high as well.
Yeah. Minnesota plays in a dome, which is why they suck at football. What was it? Patriots versus Raiders years and years ago when the tuck rule was made a thing. That was a massive snow game. Yeah. I love playing in terrible conditions. It's the best.
When we were in school, we played a rugby match against the high school in the next town, and their rugby pitch was awful because it was at the bottom of a slope, and it was in the winter, so it was all waterlogged. it must have been the worst rugby game to watch because we couldn't run. All we could do was sort of wade through the mud and try and get to each other before they got to the other line, to the try line. Columbus says, rugby and league players learn how to tackle. NFL players know how to dive head first. Yeah.
So they have actually changed the way we teach how to tackle now. So it used to be you put your head on the leading side of the person you're tackling in American football, because that's how you arrest their motion. You don't have to worry about your head and neck so much because your helmet will kind of lock into your shoulder pads. But now they're like, oh yeah, we'll try and do the rugby tackle and put your head on the backside, which is why you see so many broken tackles and stuff coming through at the college and high school levels now. But that's all right. Back in my day.
But if they do it properly, then they won't need the pads and the helmets.
Nah, it makes it
fun. You get to dislocate your jaw and all sorts.
It makes it. Way. No one jumps on YouTube and types in rugby big hits. They type in
No, they do. No, they do. There's loads of reaction videos where Americans have reacted to rugby big hits and things, and they're shocked by them. JT says, I think of Green Bay and playing in the snow. No. Jim says, Tim, I watch mostly older era football games on YouTube. My kind of game back then, when the quarterback was a real athlete and part of the 22 players on the field, not protected by the NFL's soccer moms. There we go.
Yeah. I kind of agree.
In my day, they had real spots.
Well, the only thing I can't fully agree with is the way the quarterback position, the way it's played has changed. So now they're a lot more mobile and stuff, and you can't have it both ways. You can't have the protection of not getting jacked up when you're in the pocket, and be faking out defenders and then running it yourself. So I think if you're going to be playing option football and running, speed options and quick tosses to the outside and keying off the D end and stuff like that, you absolutely deserve to get jacked up by a clone of Ray Lewis. But that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
I was watching Forrest Gump last night.
See, I can't watch it too often because I get mad because of how horrible Jenny is. That's a everyone agrees on that, right? Like no one watches Forrest Gump and thinks
she's
Jenny's just misunderstood. She is. She 100% she is. No one actually says that Jenny's a good person, right?
Yeah, and the disease, the virus that they're talking about is blatantly a specific virus that we all know about now. And we all know it's, people can live with it these days. But
liberalism.
It also raised the question of, did she contract it? Did she contract it before she had the child with Forrest or after? Because if she contracted it before, that means she gave it to Forrest and her child.
Well, presumably after then, right?
Well, I'd assume so, because
she had a child and then continued to make horrible life decisions.
Yeah. Because otherwise, sure, because there's no mention of Forrest having it or the child. She doesn't say, "Oh, he's got it as well." So,
that'd be funny if they.
Which raises questions as over her ability to actually mother the child as well, and make good life choices for the child.
If they did like Forrest Gump, the untold story, and like in all the stages of his life, it turns out that like, yeah, he did some cool stuff. He went to Vietnam. Guy's a hero. Guy was a ping pong champion. But on the side, he was like absolutely visiting every kind of lady of the night along the way and was an absolute pest. That would be hilarious.
He was a coke fiend and everything.
Yeah.
Jenny. Joe says bad weather in AM. American football evens things out. Loved playing football in bad weather, not baseball. It sucked. Yeah. Jim says Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Joe Namath, Ken Stabler, and others set their pacing records when defenses had more of an impact and could actually defend. There we go.
But none of those guys played for the Patriots, therefore they suck.
JT says, Jenny was an abused child. I feel sorry for her. Maybe she had a bad blood transfusion, although she did drugs. Yeah, being an abused child, I mean, all right, it explains why people messed up, but it doesn't explain why they make bad life choices. Even a child who's abused still knows the difference between right and wrong. In fact, they probably know it better than anyone. As the current things that are going on in the UK investigation stuff proves. But yeah, we won't go down that road.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I can't say that I speak to too many people my age about their feelings on Forrest Gump.
Most people your age haven't heard it.
Come on, Timmy, you're a spokesperson for the generation. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's so wise, because he mostly talks to older people.
Yeah.
That's why he's so wise for his age.
I don't know too many people that would call me wise. Normally it's that prick that keeps talking about politics, even though I just want to play my game.
Oh, I didn't realize you changed your name to John. JT says, I don't hate her, but feel bad for what she did to Forrest. Yeah. And he says, Mikey, good points. Yeah. I know people who were abused, and they don't make those life choices. Joe says, Jim, don't forget Roger Staubach. Yeah. In fact, and a lot of them say what that experience told me is how not to be a person, how not to treat other people. Jim says, I watch rugby when I need a good laugh. JT says, I love Ray Finkel's mum and what she said about Dan Marino. Okay. And Jim says, correct Joe, a tough guy despite his calm demeanor. There we go.
Yeah, Roger Staubach was the main. But there were so many great quarterbacks back in the day. You go all the way back to like Johnny Unitas, but like John Elway as well was fantastic. Yeah, I make jokes about the old guys, but they are all absolutely legends. And then the next generation was your Brady, your Peyton, your Breeze, Big Ben. Yeah, they're the guys that I grew up watching, and now it's all little concussion machines like Tua and.
Yeah, I didn't grow up watching sports.
Missed out, mate. It's great football. Although my absolute spirit animal, the one that gives me faith in the game being great again, weirdly enough, is up in New York, the New York Giants, Cam Scatterboo. Oh man. You picture the most stereotypical frat white dude running back that has exactly one brain cell and likes how it feels when that brain cell gets impacted on the front of his skull because he runs that hard downhill. He is a joy to watch. He's constantly just yelling and headbutting people and
the sort of guy that's going to do something really stupid to end his life because he's had that many concussions.
He's fantastic. He's fantastic. People do already kind of joke about he is the CTE poster child. He's going to have the most outstanding 3-year pro career of anyone ever. But my God, And like the young quarterback Jackson Dart that they got up there as well is very similar. So those two just like feed into each other with like headbutts and screaming and yeah. No, Cam Scatterboo, like worth looking up. Dude is absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Surprised I haven't got bloody CT. I think I've had at least 7 concussions so far. Yeah. Next comment, which explains a lot actually. Joe says laces out. Wasn't that from Ace Ventura? JT says, Joe, want a cookie? Joe Staubach rarely wore any elbow or arm pads despite playing in artificial turf, green cement.
Yeah. That stuff's brutal.
It burns.
AstroTurf, yeah, we played on that up on the Gold Coast when we played Australia versus US All-Stars for Down Under Bowl back in like 2012. And man, so that's like up near where I live now. And the, you know, nice little rubber beads and stuff that are supposed to be in it were like, you know, rock hard. Like they hadn't been changed. It was brutal. Like we were all advised to go out and buy like hex pads and stuff for your elbows because you'll just get torn up.
Yeah. Joe says, Timmy, the rules change for the offense. It all benefits the offense. You can't touch the receivers. It's all good.
Yeah, that's true.
Joe says, JT and the Naval Academy grad. JT says, Mikey, funny when you make bad choices in life, you make better ones. Not always. You just hope that you would learn from the mistakes. And he says, Dan Marino went to Annapolis. Jim says, too many players did and still do lead with the helmets. Don't forget the concussive effects of soccer, ice hockey, and just about any sport. The concussive effects from soccer are to do with heading the ball, and that's slowly being phased out. They're slowly banning.
Are they really?
Yeah, they've banned it in. They've already banned it in under 18s football.
Like soccer balls aren't hard.
Yeah, they are.
They are when they're kicked at your head.
Yeah, they are when they're inflated properly. They're pretty severe.
Wow. Yeah, I played soccer for 3 years in grades 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah,
I never had any issue. Like
I think the main issues in practice, like repeated practice of heading the ball.
Yeah.
It's
not so much about the single impact, it's repeated impact.
Yeah, it's not so much about the game, it's the training.
Yeah.
Practice.
Yeah, fair. Which we didn't really have because our coach was just a teacher that got lashed with extra duty. So we spent most of the time stuffing about, and then we rocked up and played on Saturday.
Yeah. Callum says, have to bail out early from the stream. Currently up to my eyeballs with anti-inflammatories and painkillers for the back injury. Take care all. Have a good rest of the stream. See you later, Callum. Hope you feel better, buddy.
Take care soon.
Jim says, sorry to hear that, Callum. I hope you feel better soon. And Kit Kat Evans says, Timmy, you have a thick head.
Yeah, that's
yes,
that is true. Yeah. See, I got scouted to play gridiron at a soccer game.
Okay.
Because like I was on the bench, and my coach was like, that guy. Like that guy's had free reign. Like we need him to start, looking around a bit, not just feeling like he can do whatever he wants. Yeah. So I was like, all right, so like a hip or something. He's like, yeah, just go. I'll give him a bump and stuff. So I was like, yeah, cool. And like if that's the pitch, over here on the sideline, we've done the interchange. I've like run out, just cut a beeline for this dude, hip checked him straight into like all the parents from Radford College. And then kind of gave him all the thumbs up. One of the year 12s that was watching the game played for the Centurions, and he's just like, "Why are you playing soccer, dude?" And I was like, "Oh, had to pick a sport." He's like, "Come to practice, man. come to practice. I've got something I want you to try.
Yeah, we had a couple of lads that ended up playing for the local town teams, and one lad who ended up going playing for Wales under-18s in rugby, and he was huge. I mean, he's still huge. He's about 6'3", 6'4", but he was just like a massive wall when you hit him.
Yeah.
He was just sort of person who, if you ran into him, into his stomach, and tried to tackle him, he just stood there laughing at you whilst you tried to push him backwards. Nobody ever tried to tackle him. David says, yeah, take care, Callum. And JT says, eggs are scrambled enough. I'm going to make mayonnaise. Okay. Put some wood glue on this to smooth it all out so I can paint it.
Okie dokie. So I've done about all I can on the flying beer tray.
Yeah.
At the moment. So yeah, until the decal's like fully set and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then yeah, there's a couple little things that, you know, decal got a bit torn up there on the S. So yeah, I'll fix that up with a bit of paint once it's all dry. But yeah, it's kind of fun and weird looking. And then yeah,
kind of like you, Tim.
I'm not fun. So
I love that. Yeah. That's the part you took offense to.
So I'm gonna open up this Kitty Hawk, I think.
Nice. Which you got for a very specific reason.
Yeah, I've run out of stuff that I need, stuff that I can do.
Did you tell Katie before you bought it?
Did I say I bought it? I meant it was in my stash and I found it.
Well, she knows now because she's watching.
Uh-oh.
Incoming slap in 5, 4.
I mowed the lawn and picked up more dog food today. I did
bought it out of my pocket money.
I was a good boy.
JT says, speaking of mayonnaise, oh God, where the hell is this going? We have the argument over Hellmann's or Duke's in the US. Never tried Duke's. See, if John was here, that could have gone very differently. Jim says, Tim, your airplane model makes hungry for pancakes. JT says, maybe making me want to watch the X-Files. So, is there a particular topic you'd like to talk about today, Gary? We've done Tim's NFL stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm quite happy painting bits of track. Thank you. I'm just sitting here painting away, mulling over the woes of the world and the good things of life. You know, the usual Friday rubbish, really.
It's the best part of modelling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. I think the highlight of the week has definitely been the decision by the 6 musketeers, I shall call us, who are cohabiting for the Telford weekend in an Airbnb, that instead of doing a Weatherspoons on the first night together, we're just going to get a delivery kebab.
Yeah.
So that sounded like it's just going to finish the weekend off perfectly for me.
Yeah.
Kebab on the first night. Burgers and chips on the Saturday.
Nice.
Some sort of takeout on Sunday, don't know what. Got the got a breakfast event with Coterie models on Sunday, the Project Halifax breakfast.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And they say bacon butties will be provided. Excellent job.
Yeah.
So it's all looking quite like a frenzy of gluttonous levity. There might even be some models on show somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. We might actually get to see you.
Yeah. Yeah. Might actually waddle over to the hall.
With your extra stretchy pants on.
Yeah, absolutely. I may have to get my merch redone in larger sizes.
Yeah. And have a towel for the meat sweats.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Julian says, back. Front. Jim says, JT, never heard of Dukes. I've heard of Duke. He's a guy who watches people sleep. He's a creepy little bugger. JT says,
they're the people that make cricket balls in the UK.
Ah, there we go. JT says, Mikey, you made me laugh about where I was going. Joe says, yes, Timmy. I dug 5 holes for wife's apple tree. She looks at me and asks, what did you buy? Duke says, no, JT says, Duke is popular in the South. So is incest, but hey. JT says, I saw it in Lidl in my hometown. There we go. Jim says, wait, Rose, watching the Bears game this Sunday. It'll be 6 p.m. start for you, playing the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, I may well try and watch that, actually.
JT says, well, if you wanted to watch together, Gary, you can always just go on my Discord because it's got a video channel. You can just stream it on the Discord.
Okay. I'll see what Sunday brings.
Feel free. JT says, Duke is kind of as sudden as Old Bay seasoning. There we go.
I like Old Bay seasoning.
And from what we get shown over here about the Deep South, it's 6 fingers as well. Julian says, people handling tip number 1. If you hate someone, hug them. Then you know how big to dig the hole. Very good. JT says, I was honestly keeping it PG. Joe says, Duke's mayo all over the South. Oh, that sounds wrong. Duke's mayo is all over the South. JT says, Julian, lol. Dave says, oh, yes, Joe. I get that whenever I do something for Helen. What have you bought? Yeah, I get what you're after. TVG says, hi, Julian. You can drag them into the crypt. Jim says, we have Aldi grocery stores in the Midwest. We have Aldi and Lidl. Yeah. Jim says, hey, TBG. And TBG says, hi, Jim. There we go. So, what topic shall we discuss next? Not that we ever plan these topics out or anything.
No, of course not. Where would be the spontaneity that our dear viewers love?
Exactly. Oh, one thing I was going to run past the chat was because Mr. Marley is now out of the game for an indeterminate amount of time. On Tuesdays, I'm going to bring back, because me and John don't want to do the omnibus. We want to do the omnibus together. We don't want to leave one another behind. We want to finish it together. So, I'm going to bring back Creative Tuesdays and open the panel up again. If people are interested, you can come on the panel and join in. And just have a chat. I'm pretty sure nobody wants to see me doing this on my own. Because they would get very bored very quickly. Julian says, hi, TBG. No, I can't. The crypt's already full. JT says, what have you bought? Is the question when I came home from the hobby shop. I'm sure I'll get the same question later. JT says, I'm in Mikey. I can hook up my camera to the living room computer. Excellent. TVG says, install a dehydrator, Julian. Jim says, very good idea, Mikey. Look forward to next Tuesday. Awesome. JT says, you guys can see me build in my second debut. There we go. Can you have a second debut? Yari, you're the linguistics expert.
I don't really think so.
Yeah. Second appearance, yeah. But
yeah.
You can only debut but once.
I would have said so.
Yeah. Right. That's all skimmed. So I can maybe a bit more on the countertop. Because it looks better when it doesn't just look like really huge wood grains.
With questions of grammar and syntax, I always think back to... Oh, hang on, excuse me. I got a phone call. Still in. Oh.
There you go. JT said, I could say the second coming, but I don't want to get struck by lightning. It's more the whole you've just been saying about Mayo being everywhere, and then you're saying the second coming is where my head goes. Which is
sorry about that. My dear wife is going to the shops and wanted to know whether I wanted anything other than blanched almonds.
Ooh.
Our life is just such a whirl. It really is.
The job of the world of the semi-retired.
I know. Well, it's for our slow gin, so it's quite important.
Oh yeah, you're not helping this weight rose image. You know that, right? Or have you given up trying now?
People do make slow gin, who aren't from the nobility. I'm not. I'm from scum, me.
How dare you? Your father was a naval officer.
He wasn't an officer. He was never commissioned. He was non-commissioned.
Ah, I thought he was.
He was non-com. No, he was a non-com.
Ah.
He's one of the last before about 1951 or two. Everyone, that was it. Every air rank had to be commissioned.
Yeah.
Oh no, he worked for a living. My dad.
Yeah. JT says, no double entendre intended. That does sound wrong. Yes, it does. June says, good idea, Mikey. What, JT and the second coming? Ooh. Phil says, chap in park sees two council workers, one digging holes, one filling them in. Why, he asks. Well, Fred is off sick today and it's his job to plant the trees. I like that. That's good. June says, laugh out loud, Phil. Yeah, that was a good joke. I like that one.
Ooh, all right, he's back.
Ah, we didn't realise you'd left.
Yeah, sorry, I wrote.
We just thought you got really quiet.
No.
Not that we're saying your absence wasn't, or your presence isn't impactful.
Yeah.
It's just we thought you'd gone quiet.
It was the most personable I've been in a hot minute. Yeah. No,
the least controversial.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. My poor wife got home from work a bit late. Being a theatre nurse, everything has to be accounted for. So some idiot had lost a clear suture.
Oh.
So they had to hang around for 40 minutes until they found it.
Until he dug through the bodies.
Yeah. So she's just very, very peopled out today.
Awesome.
Is that why she doesn't want to talk to you?
No, that's why I was gone. I was saying hi to my wife and getting
the updates.
Look at that. The man who always looks out for me, the Colonel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know his Kentucky Fried Chicken is about 12, 13 miles away, so we don't bother.
Who doesn't love a bit of Dirty Bird? It's good.
Ooh. Let's see. Wayne Rooney? Oh, wait, no, that's Old Bird.
I think this is my first Italeri kit.
Nice. Don't think I've made an Italeri kit. That's going well. That should polish up nicely.
There's a bit more flash than I'm used to.
Ew.
But the bits seem... they all seem okay.
Yeah.
Just a bit of... extra little bit of flash on it, clean up.
Yeah.
And, squaring a couple of holes and stuff, but... not too shabby.
Oh, crap. Yep. Right. Julian says JT is not... It's not the mind it comes out of, it's the mind it goes into. And it went into Mikey, so yeah, know your audience. Exactly. TBG says, well, if you spot a gravedigger in a wheelchair in Wales, you know Julian is making his room in his crypt. David, rather cook it myself than have KFC and McDonald's, I'm assuming. Yes, I would as well. I'm not keen on fast food. JT says, I could join the Colonel's army and be in the bucket brigade. Maybe I'll work next to the frying nun. JT says, homemade fried chicken is good. Jeff says, hi, everyone. Hello, Jeff. How are you doing? And he says, good morning, coffee's up. And Julian says, Mikey, regarding young birds, wasn't that about a what's-his-face from the Rolling Stones? No, Wayne Rooney going after the old... He was always off playing the field with the old ladies, wasn't he?
Grab a granny night at the local disco.
Yeah. I mean, if you had Colleen Rooney to go home to, you wouldn't be doing that, would you? To be fair. Only a guy that looks like Shrek would do that. If they had Colleen Rooney at home waiting for him.
What's he doing these days, Wayne Rooney? Is he still managing?
Not sure.
Idea. Absolutely no idea.
I know David Beckham is putting a bid into with some other people to buy Man United.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. TBG says, grab a nan, Wayne Rooney style. And Jeff says, I've been working on buildings for my train layout. Excellent. We don't know what your normal YouTube name is, Jeff, because YouTube's putting the actual channel handles for some reason. It's doing that again. Jim says, Tim, one last thing about football. Certain teams' defenses used to have names given to them because of their dominance and success. Doomsday defense, no name defense.
Yeah.
Jeff says, end scale. Nice. Jim says, the Glamorgan Inn in Cowbridge says, we don't do fast food. We do good quality food as quickly as possible. Yeah. There's a difference. JT says, I do have to admit my favorite fried food is fried fish and fried chicken. That and nice steamer bucket. Yeah. And my favorite food's pasta dishes. Hobby Time says, hi, James. JT says, Jeff, what scale? He's just said N scale. TVG says, hi, Gordon. Jeff says, YouTube is goofy. JT says, Jeff, Jeff says, N scale layout, I'm on YouTube channel. Yeah. The problem is it's coming up, the names it's coming up with the tag handles rather than the actual channel names. In fact, I wonder what it comes up with for mine. Hang on a minute. I can see.
Am I doing a P40E or a K1? What am I doing? P40.
What does it come up with for mine? There, yeah, there. Mine it just comes up with Bearded Veteran Crates. Awesome. Julian says, yeah, I was thinking the opposite to Rooney, Mikey. One of the Rolling Stones married a girl who was 16 at the time. He was much older. Ah, well, yeah. He was much older even when they were young. JT says, need more coffee or am I too hyperactive today? You're fine, buddy.
P40 Mark III.
Jeff says, it's all about N scale with Jeff. Nice. Lovely. You don't see enough train models on here. Ooh, my watch has finished charging. Yeah. Excellent.
The K and M. All right, so that'll answer that.
Yeah. Bob says, yay, my dodo juice has arrived. No, not an extinct bird squeezing, but a leather treatment for upholstery. Ah, okay. Cool. Jeff says, for some reason, YouTube isn't posting it as that way. Yeah, it could be StreamYard then. I wonder what they're playing at, because they did this a while back as well.
Mm-hmm.
JT says, N gets you lots in a little space. And he says, wanted to do N3. Julian says, Mikey, yours comes up as normal, maybe because you're hosting the stream. I don't think it did on Gary's stream on Tuesday. Ah. Weird. The weird and wonderful world of StreamYard/YouTube.
Man.
Jeff says, yes, John, my layout is 11 foot by 11 foot. Nice. Really good size layout. NN3 is narrow gauge N scale. Ah, cool. What to do now? Because I've done that. Oh, I've got a tub of European thick mud. It's not the one I use for that. Because I've had this a few years, so it's gone solid now. So what I've done is drilled a hole in the top, because it's got weight in the bottom, and I can use it for figure painting.
Ooh, very clever.
Yeah. There we go. So what I might do is put another layer of white on this. Jim says, seems the same kind of name display of those in chat to World War II TV all this week. Yeah. They're playing with something again. JT says, Jeff had an eye-shaped switching layout. Penzi, Reading, and Erie, as well as my railroad club name from college. There we go.
Mm.
Julian, the name thing isn't StreamYard, as it buggered up another stream which was on OBS the other day. Yeah, so it must be a YouTube thing. Joe says, maybe on another channel, but wife asked me to ask you UK people. We are planning our trip to southern UK, Normandy, and probably Paris. I want to see Belgium too. Focus is important World War II areas. I don't know about southern UK, but I know up here we've got the chemical factory where the Manhattan Project started. You can go and walk around that, the site for that. and you can still walk in all the buildings where because it was so secret, they weren't allowed to write the calculations down on paper, so they wrote them on the walls, so you can see it's all still written on there. Jeff says, I have a lot of European trains I bought when I was in Germany a few times. Nice. Jim says, hey Jeff, how's the RR layout coming along? Joe says, yeah, spending time in London first. Gary's the person to speak to for that then.
There's heaps of cool stuff in London.
Yeah.
Yeah, Imperial War Museum's in London.
Yeah.
Yep.
The RF Museum is at Hendon, about 20 minutes from me. As is Hannon.
HMS Belfast on the Thames.
Absolutely. Beautiful ship. They've done a gorgeous job with that.
That's actually really cool because you can't walk along the Thames without running into a pub every 2 seconds. So like if it's a nice sunny day, go check out the Belfast because that's really cool and in fantastic nick. And you can use it as an excuse to get a beer around lunchtime. So
good shout.
JT says there was an issue about showing sports on TV here because YouTube controlled them. Jim says, Jeff, any Marklin brand trains? Aussie Ian says, I think that Italeri Kitty Hawk is a rebox of the old AMT kit. Simple cockpit detail, but very nice kit otherwise.
Yeah, I think that sounds a bit about right. The side panels have heaps of detail, like raised detail. It's not super flat like some of the older Tamiya stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems pretty cool. And I'm gonna do this one here, which is a Mark III. But in the instruction, there's two choices for the main instrument clusters, between the E or the K. But it didn't say anything about a Mark III. So I did a bit of reading, and the Mark III is a British thing, but it was based on the K and the M. So I'm pretty sure I'm right in using the K one.
Jeff says, where in Germany? I was in Hamburg, Cuxhaven, and Berlin. Joe says, what about Duxford?
Duxford's up the A11 or A14 or something. It's a way out of London. I don't know what the public transportation is like. It's about, depending on where you're staying in London, if you want to drive, it's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the public transport's like up there.
I wouldn't imagine it's very good.
It's a way out of London.
Yeah. And it's probably in the middle of nowhere.
If you like,
so yeah, it will be.
Yeah. If you like Gothic cathedrals and stuff, Lincoln is fantastic.
That's also Scampton and Waddington were right next door to Lincoln.
Yes, we won't be able to walk around them now, though.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful example of a Catholic cathedral stolen by bloody Protestants.
Come on, we're all friends now, thanks to His Majesty and His Holiness. Yeah. All buddies. You're going to let it lie after 500 years.
Yeah. Well,
that's exactly what I'd be saying if I nicked the Lincoln Cathedral.
Yeah.
Well, Paul Corrigan put on Facebook yesterday a post about that, and he said maybe hopefully this is signed that now England's going to move back to Catholicism.
No,
and I thought, no. How about you don't force your religion on other people, because most Protestants have had enough of that. You can't complain about other religions doing it and then try and do it yourself. Just let everyone be. Just leave religion at the door. Jim says, Ian, I believe you're right about the P40. Yeah. JT, then there is the Mauritania restaurant in Bristol, which is in the ship's dining room, or which is the ship's dining room. And he says, Jeff, a week after I left Cuxhaven, a steam train pulled into the station. We have quite a lot of steam trains in the UK. Julian says, Joe, not south, but we've also got a museum for a decommissioned POW camp near me, plus in West Wales, an RAF museum. Yeah. Jim says, Ian, I have an AMT 48 scale A20 Havoc. I've seen that kit reboxed by Italeri. Jeff says, John, that's cool. I saw Big Boy comes right past my house and I got some great pictures of it a few years ago. Oh, nice. We built the Big Boy on the channel recently. Must be impressive to see that. JT says, the White Swan in Alnwick was the smoking room from the Olympic. Yeah. Jeff says, I love old steamers. Yeah. We have in Llandudno, which is not far from here, about 20-30 minute drive. They have a Victorian weekend every year, and they just have loads of traction engines and steam fairground rides and everything. It's really nice. Got some nice photos from there, actually. Julian says, the RF Museum at Hendon is awesome. Plus, there's RF Fighter Command HQ in Stanmore. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question about
in Cheshire
about trains?
Mm-hmm.
So, as someone that trains have never really stirred anything in me.
Yes.
What is the attraction like? Is it the whole steam propulsion thing that is the gateway drug, or is it like the carriages or the history, or it's like what's the main?
It's a combination of the history and the engineering. Okay. So, and the fact that you can, you've got coal and water, and you can make absolute raw power that can tow hundreds of tons, just from basically making a giant kettle.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's a good a reason as any.
Yeah. But they're just impressive machines. And because they're always so well looked after, they're just beautiful to look at as well, with all the brass work and everything on them.
Yeah, fair cop.
Especially the traction engines. Jeff says, I have several in N scale. Nice. Wish I had enough space for a layout. That'd be fun. Aussie Ian says, Jim, yes, I have a couple of those AMT A20s, also very nice. And also, Aussie Ian's changed his handle to Aussie Ian. Nice. Jim says, Joe, my first stop would always be the UK. So much history to see and take in, not to mention the model shops and museums, etc. Yeah. We do have a lot of them. Don't have many up north, but... Jeff says, there's a guy out here that owns a P40. Nice. Aussie Ian says, isn't the National Army Museum in London as well? I believe so.
Yes, it is indeed. Well, the Science Museum's there as well, which has got a very good collection.
What we do have all over the UK is regimental museums. So they'll have a museum wherever that regiment's based. So for mine, we have the Remy Museum, which is not far from Bovington. So that's pretty cool. I only went to see it when it was at Borden, but it's moved since then. Because we went to do it visit it as part of our trade training.
Is it just like every Remy workshop? Like it's just a bunch of blokes dodging work, punching cigarettes?
Apparently, it's because there's that many vehicles and stuff in it. If you like something and then later on decide to go back to it, you won't find it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because there's that much stuff in it. Jeff says, and a P51. Nice. JT says, Mikey, Steam in fall is amazing. Must be so in the UK. Yeah, well, UK is pretty much permanently in autumn, isn't it? It's either in autumn or winter. We don't really do summer other than that week or so.
Yeah.
Says,
occasionally you guys just melt.
Joe says, from this chat, I'm afraid to go to Wales. Heathenism, you know. That's all right. As long as you don't go to the south of the M4, you'll be fine. Jim says, can't forget about the village in Wales. Would love a fortnight stay there. Yeah. We have lots of villages in Wales. Julian says, 100% agreed, Mikey. One reason I dislike Jehovah's Witnesses, the only reason for them to exist is to push their religion at people. Anyway, I'll shush now. Yeah. Yeah, we won't go down there. Jeff says, the history of the engines and how they operate. Yeah, it's fascinating. Jim says, that's why I like YouTube channels like LMM. Laurie's Mechanical Marvels. He does lots of steam engines and fire engines and things like that. Because he actually owns both.
Huh.
So he goes all over the country driving steam engines and diesel engines and talking about the history of them and things. Jim says, Joe, I've heard that South Wales is the true garden spot of the UK. No, it's heathen country.
Well, two things can be true at once. Like, you wouldn't want to live next to them, but they do maintain a nice yard.
It's also the most population dense part of Wales, so they're the least likely to have a yard. Yeah, it's once you get to mid Wales where you got all the hills and that's where all the beauty spots and things are. So Snowdonia or Awidva, as they call it now, or Oriri, whatever you want to bloody call it these days. Yeah. So that's all like the hill walking and things like that. It is really stunning views and things. JT says, I love the sound, the rods, and the thought in the engine design. Mikey's right about the engineering. Karen's family had 5 generations on the Penzi. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, fellas. For once, I wasn't taking the piss. I was just genuinely interested.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the engineering stuff. If you find, like I say, like LMM, he's a really good channel for it. Channels like that, they have a passion for the engine, but they don't talk down to people who don't know about them. And they actually, they're really enthusiastic, and they'll show you how it all works, and they'll show you them stripping the engines down and things. And as they do, they're explaining what all the different things do and stuff like that. And if you're interested in history and engineering, it's really, really good. Jeff says, we have the National Train Museum out here for trains. Nice. He did one episode, Tim, where he drove a little duplex engine from World War One.
Oh, yeah.
And he was driving it around the track at a museum, and he was explaining to you what they used to do and the history and stuff, and how the little engine worked and how much it could pull and things, despite only being this little 2-stroke engine. Junior says, Tim, if railways did stir anything in you, I'd be worried. Also, you're on the wrong stream. There's probably an OnlyFans for that. JT says, Jim, Germany has quite a few train museums, and there is an amazing maritime museum in Hamburg and one in Bremerhaven. Cool. Junior says, National Army Museum website. There we go. Junior says, also, I think the Gherkin Museum in Winchester. Yep. Like I said, each regiment has its own museum. The Cheshire Regiment Museum is in Chester, about half an hour from us. That's an interesting one. It's small, but it's an interesting one. TVG says, my late uncle was in the Remy, went to become chief engineer of Thames Water. Cool. Arthur Lowe was in the Remy, the one who played Captain Mainwaring in Dad's Army. He was an officer, unsurprisingly. JT, if you eat too many Brussels sprouts, you have a fart night. Very good. You've also got the National Train Museum in York. National Railway Museum. That's really good to walk around. They've even got a replica of Rocket there and everything. And they've got engine number 1 there and stuff like that. And Mallard, which is held the world record for fastest steam locomotive.
I believe it still does.
Yeah. Well, they've said it'll never be beaten now, haven't they?
126 miles an hour.
Yeah. Imagine doing that. It's something that's swaying from side to side.
Yeah. And it's essentially on fire.
Yeah.
With a pressure vessel on top.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, I was watching a documentary the other day, and it was all about the railways during World War II. And they interviewed engine drivers and stuff like that, and firemen and stuff. And some of the stories were bloody awful that they had. Like, they had to change the signalling system to tell them when there was air raids overhead and things because they couldn't hear the planes. But there's stuff like one guy, they had at the stations, they had air raid shelters that were just for the train crews and stuff, so they could just jump out the train, run into shelters and run back to the train. And there's one where the guys have decided they just left the station, so they thought it's too far to run, so we'll just line the ditch at the side of the railway track. And they just left this guy that had loaded them up. And when the air raid had finished, they saw that there'd been a hit at the train station, so they went back to the train stations to see if they needed any help. And the air raid shelter that they would have ran into if they'd been 2 minutes later was destroyed, and all the men in it were killed. And he said that was a wake-up call for him because he was only 17 at the time. And he said, but then there was another time where they went into the air raid shelter, and the raid went on for that long that one of the train crews decided, I've had enough of this, and decided they were going to go and walk back to their train. And when the raid finished, there was a big crater with their boots left in it because the bomb had hit just as they were walking out to the train.
When you said he was only 17, it just reminded me. You know the song I Was Only 19 by Redgum?
Yes.
That was playing over the PA system at a store that my wife and I were in called Baby Bunting, where, you know, they sell all baby clothes, like prams and stuff. It's like the main baby store.
Yeah.
They were playing I Was Only 19. I was like, this is a bit morbid for a baby clothing store, isn't it?
Just thinking, 19 years, your child could too be facing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Just imagine the bloke in front of you, bundle of joy, in 19 years could be yelling out contact. And the bloke behind him swore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was a bit weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that is bad. Somebody didn't think that one through, did they? TVG says, beam engines are cool. Yeah. Julian says, technically south of the M4 is anywhere south of Bristol. Bristol's not in Wales. Aussie Ian says, the town I live in has Steamfest every year. It draws thousands of visitors to the town. Yeah, will do. Jim says, JT, Germany, Austria, definitely on my bucket list of places to visit and take in the beauty of. JT says, Timmy, not taking it as picking to bits. Cool to have you ask. There we go. And he says, Jim took the trains from Cuxhaven to Berlin. Recommend it highly. Amazing scenery. Yeah. Jim says, my late brother was a true student of mechanics. He liked to research and study about all types of engines, how they work, etc. Yeah. Julian says, Mikey, South Wales is the home of the very dense population, except me, Bob, David, and the families, obviously. Julian, Joe, it depends entirely on how far north you want to go, time and distance-wise. Yes. And how many trolls and inbreds and things like that you want to avoid.
The good thing about the UK, though, is, and I know you guys live there, so it might not feel it, but it is tiny.
Yeah.
Like, you can rent a car and go wherever you want. Like, it's not prohibitive. Like, you're not going to drive more than really a couple of hours.
Yeah. I mean, I got from where I am in North Wales to Scarborough in about 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
But that's more because a lot of the roads are 30 mile an hour and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, London to Edinburgh, you're probably doing about, 7 hours?
Yeah, because there's more motorways going north to south, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And south to north.
Like, that's less than what Melbourne to Canberra is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, is not far.
Yeah.
Or like, I pointed out to my wife the other week that, like, where we are just north of Brisbane.
Yeah.
Because she was wanting to go up to the Daintree Rainforest, which is up near Cairns.
Yeah.
In far north Queensland, up where I used to live. And I was saying, like, we're closer to Melbourne, where we are in southeast Queensland, than we are to far north Queensland. Like, yeah, it's like America, Australia is bloody big.
Yeah. But it's like anything, isn't it? If you don't do it a lot, then it seems a lot harder. A lot further.
Yeah.
It's like because there's only one motorway in Wales which goes across South Wales, because of course it does, because that's where the government is. To get from North Wales to South Wales, which is only a small area, small distance, takes the same amount of time as it takes to get from North Wales to the other side of the country. It's ridiculous because there's no motorway.
I bet that's not infuriating at all.
Well, a few years ago, in 2019, I think it was, I was a finalist in Welsh Veterans of the Year thing. And they said, oh, you got to come down to Cardiff to do an interview and stuff. And then you come down to Cardiff again for the award ceremony in like a month's time. And I said, well, not being funny, but can I not do the interview online, because I'm not driving 4.5 hours to do an interview and then driving 4.5 hours back. I said, I can't afford it, and I don't have the strength and the energy to do that anymore. Certainly, if it was for a weekend, then maybe, but not for an hour to do an interview and that's it. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a motorway going north to south, then that would have been different, because it would probably only took me about 2 hours. But hey. Julian says, Joe, it depends entirely on how far north you want to go, time and distance-wise. He is. Bob says, Julian, unsure if you could call my family not dense. My daughter dyes her hair blonde as an excuse to cover her scatterbrained behaviour. Joe says, after this weekend, lots of luck to Julian. I'll look at maps, etc. Can't wait to go. Yeah. JT says, are you going to Scarborough Fair, parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme? No, I was going there because my sister was moving there. So I drove her over to go and look at houses, and then I drove her over there I drove over there with the removals van with my dad. And then 2 years later, we moved it all back. GM says, greetings, chatterboxes. Talking distances, huh? South Korea being the size of Ireland, 20 minutes anywhere by air. There we go. David says, the run from where I am in Treherbert up to Bangor, North Wales on the A470 through Mid Wales took us just over 4 hours. Yeah. And yet I can get to Bangor in about an hour. Bob says, been looking at the camera patterns on the Jag. Crossing the wheels occurs to me that wheels turn, so I'm putting the stripes at weird angles. My kit, my option, so there. Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joe says, JT, do I need to wear flowers in my hair? Oh, that's San Francisco. Thank you, love. My darling wife has just brought me a coffee in my Lax Model Fiber cup. Thank you, Kaylee. June says, depends, Tim. Roadworks and things. Here to Margate, Airfix, and back would be 10 hours. Without stops to eat or roadworks. Me to North Wales would take 5 hours. I'd recommend using Google Maps, yeah. It's that bad that the quickest way for me to get down to Cardiff is for me to drive east into England, drive through England, and then back west across the South Wales, because I can go down the motorway if I do that. And even that still takes about 4 or 5 hours. That's what I was going to do. JT says, lol. John says, Joe was thinking about Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. And JT says, hi, Kaylee. She would say hi if she hadn't gone back in the kitchen, where she belongs. Shh. Look, Gary.
Oh, good luck with that.
Flying back around the corner with a pan.
Excellent.
How cool is that? And then on the other side,
yay! Brilliant.
It's the only
really
one.
Good.
They're only making that. That's the only one that's made because they took it down after I bought it. In case it offended anyone. Julie says, either that or fly, Mikey. Yeah. In fact, there's only 30 minutes left, so I might as well stay on the other camera. Aussie Ian says, I love walking the trails in the UK. Walking from youth hostel to youth hostel is a great way to see the country. Yeah, but I fear Joe may be a little bit over the limit to do that, over the age limit to do that. James says, a young staff member drove from Bruzen to Seoul on a holiday Monday. Took him 11 hours to drive 290 kilometres. Yeah. What makes it even worse in Wales now is that anywhere that's residential is now 20 mile an hour. JT says, I felt a disturbance in the force, Mikey. Joe says, wow, time flies. It does. It seems to go so quick on these streams.
Mm.
And I know most of it's me reading out comments and prattling on, but which is probably why it goes quick for me.
Offending people.
Yeah. Okay, fair point.
Were you about to say I don't offend people after you literally made that comment about Kay?
Kay doesn't know, shush.
He's like, no, I said people.
Yeah. GM says, Bobby, you're assuming she's a person. I'm only joking. I would never say that about my wife, honest.
You're the one getting clobbered, not me.
Well, technically she's not people, because she's only one person. She's an individual. So I am correct, in a way. GM says, Bobby, I have 2 daughters that change their hair colour every other day. JT says, the streams make the day for me. Great way to wake up. Thanks, guys. No problems, buddy. Bob says, Gary lives in a rainbow world. Kay said to me the other day, she said, can I dye my hair? And we just had the bathroom converted into a wet room. So we've got this really nice, like, cream with speckles of colour, like anti-slip flooring on it. And I was like, no. You are not dyeing your hair with that new floor down. Because I can guarantee it will stain the floor red. And we've only just had it put down.
So anyway, she dyed her hair.
No, she hasn't, to be fair. She went, all right, then you'll have to pay for me to get it done at hairdressers then. I was like, oh, damn it. I was like, no, it's all right. You can go up to her mum's. Her mum will help you do it because she loves doing stuff like that. And she's got a bathroom. Julie says, I feel a disturbance in the farce between 1200 and 1400 every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. GM says, Bobby, taste the rainbow. Dave says, don't dig, Mikey. Joe says, I can walk. I'm fit as a fiddle. Well, a fat fiddle. Yeah. Delamere Forest is a nice walk. That's a decent size. Especially if you go off the trails. You just got to be careful you don't get lost.
I was shocked at how small Sherwood was.
Yeah, when we did our pre-deployment training for Iraq, because where we were based in Chilwell is just outside Nottingham, we had to go and do the orienteering at Sherwood. And we walked across it in about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's not much there. Major Oak is pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
His walking sticks.
Yeah. Julian says, I am watching my weight, watching it go up. Aren't we all, mate? Joys of getting older. You get to watch your weight go up. Yes. When your height stops going up, you run out of excuses, then, don't you?
Your total volume never stops going up.
Julian says, I'm in shape. Round is a shape. Of course it is. Circular. JT says, I feel more like a parallelogram. Very good. I never realized Americans have different names for 2 secs. I think it's trapezoid.
Yeah, trapezoid.
Yeah. They call it trapezium or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I did talk about it in one of my videos that I was doing, and then bloody what's my face called it. Decided they were going to try and steal everyone's data, so I had to delete everything. Tish says, the red tail at Hammersley Forest is good. Ends of a waterfall. Takes a while to get there, though. Oh, there you go. They call a trapezoid a quadrilateral with at least one pair of parallel sides. We'd call it a trapezoid or trapezium. Bob says, practicing for the Hobbit remake is my excuse. Jem says, the horse chestnut trees in the UK is full flower are quite spectacular. The ones here are skinny, small things. Yeah. JT says, we Americans is crazy peoples. Lol. Julian, my height stopped going up over 40 years ago. This is a problem. Bob says, conkers again, Gary. Aussie Ian says, my favourite hostel to hostel walk was Scarborough to Whitby. There was a hostel halfway. Nice.
I would like to do the Hadrian's Wall walk.
Yeah.
At some point.
That's all right. You'd be taller than it for most of the way.
Yeah. Well, I just like that, you know, you can do a day's walk or whatever, and there's like always a hotel that you can stay at. So as long as there's somewhere where I can smash beers and then walk it off the next day.
Originally, they'd do like a day's walk from Watchtower to Watchtower, wouldn't they? Or a day's march between the Watchtowers. So that if they knew that if they marched for a day, they would have somewhere to stop at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe says, ordered my last 3 models for the year, as I promised my wife. 2 PBYs, 1 a Black Cat PBY, and another a Tamir Hellcat. That's it for now. Ooh. I say that, and then I go to Telford. And then I come home, I say it when I'm at Telford, and then I come home and spot something else I like. Duke says, Gordon Ramsay says that there's flavour in fat. I therefore identify it as delicious. Julie says, Bob, I can't use that excuse on account of dwarves and hobbits weren't disabled. Extremely awkward of them. I'm sure they had disabled ones. GM says, Bobby, yes, Conker's again, up for a duel. Haha. JT says, all along the watchtower, Hendrix was better than Dylan. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Hendrix. He's good.
See, so I'm trying to train myself to get better at this, but you know how occasionally some people, like two individuals, can just occupy the same bit of grey matter in your brain?
Yes.
And you cannot remember the other name if the other person pops in. So for the longest time, it was, and I sorted this out before I started talking, so I won't get lost.
I thought
Hendrix and Lenny Kravitz are two people that, like, if I'm thinking of Hendrix, I cannot for the life of me remember Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah. Duke says, excuse me while I kiss this guy. Well, that was an interesting turn at the end of the show. Is Duke telling us something here? We have 3 minutes left, gentlemen. Julian says, my late father used to like doing long-distance hikes. He did the Pennine Way, Offers Dyke, the Ridge Way, and I've forgotten the other one. Annoying, as knew it before I started typing. Yeah. JT says, it ain't over till it's over. Yeah. GM, an amusing week, guys. Good one. Have a great weekend. We are playing silly buggers with jet engines. Ooh, nice. Duke says, wasn't that a Hendrix song? No, I think that's why he was kicked out of the Air Force for, wasn't it? Something like that. I don't know. Allegedly. Yeah. That's looking good, Gary. You're having fun doing the ballast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right.
It is looking
to do the messy job.
That'll do.
Yeah.
Never done it before, so happy enough.
The sleepers look fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I did them with it was sprayed black to begin with. Then I put over some wood colour. Vallejo Model Air wood. Yeah. And then I got some of this sort of leather brown, darker brown, and just did a wash with that. And it kind of works. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm hoping that the bloody great big tank that's going to sit on it will take the eye more than that should be your focus of attention, really. But So I've sprayed the tray, the flatbed for it, so I'll start painting that soon as well.
Nice. Are you putting a background on it? Out of interest?
No, but it's just going to be like that for the moment. I'll see what happens after that.
Yeah,
but maybe not.
Because it'd look cool with the printed, like German landscape or something behind it.
Yeah. I mean, you could photograph it from a low level, so you don't have to fill in the back bit of it.
Yeah,
as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JT says, it ain't over till it's over, is Lenny Kravitz. There we go. Julian, oh yeah, he did the Peak District Walk too. Not that I was thinking of that one either. JT, excuse me while I kiss the sky, is Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. There we go. You didn't. Did he say sky or this guy? I'm sure he said this guy in the last one, didn't he? Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Duke says, excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yeah. It's a joke. Like, when it plays like at a pub or something, you just sort of you say it loud enough that your mate kind of does a double take and go, what?
Yeah. Bob says, weather has turned horrible here. Good excuse not to do any outside things. Yeah. Joe says, great stream of models all. Thank you, Julian. Jim says, be seeing you. And John says, kiss the sky. There we go.
Yeah. So I've started on the Kitty Hawk cockpit, so I'm not going to fully glue it until I paint the insides, because I do not want to try and get a paintbrush into it all closed up. And yeah, just got a little bit more to do with taking the transfer stuff off the decals. But there's my SAC AS6 flying beer tray.
Nice.
Excellent.
Looks cool,
Beautiful.
dude.
Which is kind of funny. Kind of funny looking. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, it turns out Duke wasn't doing it as a joke. He genuinely thought that's what it was. That's what lyrics were.
Oh, boy.
Julian says, Hadrian's Wall, that's the one I forgot. Bob says, misheard lyrics. And John says, laugh out loud, Duke. Cool.
That concrete jungle bedroom tomato.
Yeah. A frisbee plane. There we go. Yeah. So, have you had fun, gentlemen?
Yes, thank you.
Always good to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We will be back on Monday for the Monday panel, where we just build whatever we want in chat. Crap, usually. So yeah. Until then, Hulvar for now, and don't forget, lube and subscribe.
See ya.
Bye.